Welcome everybody. I'm going to go over some highlight sales over the last 30 days on eBay. I've been selling there for about 7 years and I prefer to sell vintage there, but I'll sell anything. I will go ahead and get started. Today is January 26, 2024. Keep that in mind. I feel like I've had a decent month overall. I've made about 3,300 in sales and have had some higher sales, which is always exciting. So let's go ahead and get into it. I tried to sell items for $30 or more. Now I'm trying to shoot for that like $40 mark. I do this part-time, so I don't like to have the smaller sales as I don't have much time to put into my business. So if I can work smarter, then I'll make more money. I do sell on other platforms, but eBay I would say is my number one. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm only going to go back 30 days and I don't know, I may not do highlights. I may just show you guys everything because I'm crazy. I'm going to try popping out more content for you guys. I used to be more regular, especially when I was really into ThredUp. But you know how life is. So, okay. The item, I think I sold this one last night. I keep track of how long items are going to sell, and I tell you guys everything. I don't sugarcoat stuff. So the struggle is real. I sold a sweater, an 80s style sweater. It's pretty plain. I would not pick it up again. It was gray. It had some geometric stuff on it, but it was women's, and I paid a whole 40 cents for it. Sold it for $30 plus shipping. Yeah, you guys, it's 2024. I've had this listed since October of 2021. What's wrong with me? Oh my gosh, I need to get better about clearing out my inventory. Anyways, nice profit, I suppose. The next one I've also had for a significant long time. This one even longer. I don't know why. It was like a vintage Western Illinois University. Woo-woo. It's where my husband and I graduated. WIU laptop messenger bag. It was vintage. It was cool. But again, it took forever to sell. I sold it for 40 bucks and I paid $2 for it. So it is what it is. And it actually didn't stay in Illinois. It went down to Texas. The next item, this one is exciting. It is super rare. Do keep that in mind. It is a toy that is made in Italy. It was new in the package. I got it at a garage sale for $5. It's this Super Charlie. I don't know if it used to be a TV show or what. It looked to be about 90s era by Depop. Is a Wild West. Looked like a little hotel with some figures in it. And I sold it to a buyer for $200 plus shipping. And yeah, that was very exciting. The next one, and that sold very quickly. Within a week, that toy sold. $200. The next one was a slower sale. I don't know why. I originally got this for ThredUp back in the day. London Fog used to do well, and it's a larger size. It's an extra large London Fog hooded zip-up parka jacket. Nothing spectacular about it. I don't pick up London Fog anymore, but you will hold train tracks too. So I did actually pay $9 for this. I probably had to pay up to get it back from ThredUp is my guess, or for shipping. Anyways, it sold for a whole $50, which I'm so happy with that, but I have had it since November of 2022. So yeah, keep in mind, I have a huge storage area. If you don't have a huge storage space, you need to be turning over your items a lot quicker, but I am working on that as well because I need to consolidate my area. It takes up way too much space. We have a 2-car plus garage and we don't park our cars in it. All right, the next item was very unique. It was a handmade duck boat. If you've ever been to Wisconsin Dells, I really actually do recommend going on a duck boat ride. It was a little pricey because I'm cheap, but it was an experience you won't forget. A duck boat is, it's a vehicle that can go in the water. Like you drive down this trail to get down to the river, and they take you on a tour and you can see all the cool cliffs and stuff like that. So it was definitely an experience, but it was completely made out of wood. It did have a little bit of damage. It was missing a bottom wheel on this duck boat, but I sold it in a few weeks for $35. And I think my mom actually gifted this to my husband for Christmas a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken. My mom gifts things that are from yard sales, so she would have hardly paid anything for it. The next one sold within 2 hours, which amazed me. It was a 90s early Y2K Ralph Lauren. I think this was actually Ralph Lauren Sport. No, it had the logo on it. It had the pony embroidered. Ralph Lauren. It was a white, like an off-white cable knit, preppy V-neck fitted sweater. I did model it. I don't know why it sold so quick, but it did for $40, which I'm totally happy with. I paid $1 for it. The next one was also super exciting. If you like more frequent content, I post pretty much every single day on Instagram. And I got this at the bins. This has been in my garage being stored because I didn't realize the value of it, but since sometime in September. And I just listed it recently. 1940s dress, gorgeous, like a sapphire blue velvet. It was almost in perfect condition. I don't know that it was worn. It appeared handmade. There was not very many tags. Very well made. Gorgeous buttons. Little puff sleeve. Below the knee. I dated it to the 40s. It had a hidden zipper on the side, which they had zippers started in the late 30s. They weren't called zippers because they were technically trademarked by a company until the 80s. They're called slide fasteners. I went down the rabbit hole of zippers, as I do sometimes, but the zipper had a certain name on it, and so that's what made me be able to specify. I found like some very old ads from 1938 and dated it as such, 1940s, and it sold for $250. I paid $2 for this, and it sold for $250, and it sold in a week. Whatever 23 minus 18 is, 5 days. I'm not a math expert, so my number's off. It's okay. The next one, which may surprise you, it's not gold. It's not real garnets or rubies. It's costume, but it is vintage. I took it to a jeweler. I tested it. I have a diamond tester at home. I used to really be into selling jewelry. As if you've gone back in my previous videos, I used to do a lot of Goodwill Blue Box unboxings. Those were very exciting until they started going through their own jewelry and getting out the good stuff. And then they kept raising their prices. So unfortunately, I had to stop buying them. But that was fun for a moment. Okay, this is a vintage Victorian styled. It gave me like check style vibes. Faux pearl necklace, had the cross with all these little accents on the side. Ruby and garnet. I did take it to the jeweler and had it tested, and they were not genuine stones, but they were pronged. That's what made me feel like it was a higher quality, but the metal was very thin, like almost like aluminum. I did not do the magnet test, but I just sold it based on style alone. And you guys, it sold for $100. I don't know where I found this. I got it either for free or for like 50 cents or something ridiculously cheap. And this one sold in 20 days. Yeah, 20 days. The next one I would not personally recommend picking up unless you like these slow, like bread and butter sales. It was new tags. That's what made me pick it up. It was a house coat by Elaine. I don't even have the name of it. I think it was Miss Elaine, which you see those all the time at the thrift. But this was actually really pretty. It was a seafoam green. It had like a corally floral on it. It was a longer house coat. Had the half zip, which is great. I also included the word gift in my title. I'm trying to get better about how I list my items that could be gifted, especially, I'm not going to go off topic again, but $35. This one was listed February of 2023. So this took 11 months to sell. I paid $2 for it. Now, for eBay, I do promoted listings, but I cap it at 3%. I do it across the board, every single item. Only 3%. I know people that go crazy with their percentages, but I only stick at 3%. And that one actually sold unpromoted. It will tell you. A lot of mine sell unpromoted though, guys. I don't run regular sales like I should, but yeah. All right, the next one's also a super shock for me. I was thrifting down in Jacksonville, Illinois, when did I get this? I was thrifting down there in the like over the last few months. And came across this trench coat. It was navy blue. It was a men's, which I like selling men's better than women's. And it said made in England. It felt like quality. You just know from experience. It was by John Partridge. And I went ahead and picked it up. It was $7. I listed this December 4th. So it did take a month and a half to sell, but it went to Japan. I use eBay as a GSP for almost all my items. It sold for $200. Not bad, not bad. $200, and then, you know, the buyer pays for shipping. The next one, I got these for free at my grandmother. They sold her house and got rid of all her stuff because she's 94, you know, she's in the nursing home. And she had all these JCPenney Sharon lace curtains, like different sizes and stuff, but they're very traditional, and it's very in with like the shabby cottage core look, country look. And so photographing these were pretty hard. I used photo op for like to make a fake window, but hanging them and getting the lighting right was a little tricky. But I've sold quite a few of these, and I did have duplicates of each size, so it was easier for listing. And I did sell 2 of them in a bundle for $40, and you know, when I didn't pay anything for it, that's cool. The next one was also another exciting sale. This one went to Germany, and international sales, they now have to pay for their VAT taxes up front if it's under a certain threshold. I believe it's under 150 euros if it's going to Europe. So 30% for Germany is what they pay. Switzerland's a little cheaper, I think, but I was shocked, and the buyer was like, but then we realized that they show you the fee up front for that instead of on the back end like they used to. So I made a custom listing actually for this guy. He previously had purchased these 2 separate times within only 10 minutes, but eBay wouldn't combine the order. So it would have been cheaper overall if they were all shipped together. So I went ahead and canceled that order, made a custom one, but only because it was $185. Very happy. I was $12 into that, again, from that Wild West toy I sold earlier for $200 at that same yard sale. I bought all these limited edition Bully Land, Dino Land, retired Dino Village figures, and they seem to be very rare. I actually couldn't find any online currently had like a rider, like a person. And so I got them pretty cheap. A lot of them were still in the box. They still have the tag on them. Very lightly played. If not, most of them were almost all brand new. Anyways, very happy with that sale. He was in like $230 plus all the extra fees. So he was probably a collector, would be my guess. The next one is, this is when I would sell like anything and everything. I think I got this for one of my kids, but I will include it. I actually meant to pull this because my sister wanted it for her grandson, I mean, but I forgot to pull it. So it did sell for a whole $8, but $0 into it, just like a Carter's duck terry cloth robe. So yeah, you start somewhere, right? And some people, like, they have all the time in the world, so they can list whatever they want. You do you, you know? I don't have time for smaller sales. So the next one is, okay, completely shocked me. Mary, if you're watching this, thank you. I find primitive blankets like from the 90s era pretty frequent, and I pass over them just because I see them pretty frequent. But I recently got some, and they have been selling, and I quickly for a decent amount, which I'm pretty surprised. Didn't know this was a thing, but there's library bookcase looking, like it looks like a bookcase with all these books on it, and it's a tapestry throw, you know, the ones with like the fringe edge. And the comps are decent, between $50 and $60. So this one I got for free. I believe it was from the 90s, and it sold for $60 plus shipping. And it sold in 11 days. The next one was, I got these from the bins. I don't like picking up bras unless I can lump them together because I want a larger ASP. But I did get these bras. They were all the same size, all the same brand by Kashik. I think that's how you say it. They were 44C, so they're also a larger size, which I try to stick with. And they were in clean, nice condition, sold for $38. And I think all in I was maybe $1 because, you know, bras are super lightweight. Okay, the next one is also a brand I don't pick up super often. Umji. It's a really cute boutique brand. I love their boho clothing, but unless it's new with tags, it just doesn't resell for a whole lot. But this was plus size 2X. Really cute semi-sheer paisley blouse. I had this listed for 6 weeks. I paid 50 cents for it. How did I get that so cheap? Bins, that's why. Sold for $28. The next one, this is going to take me forever, guys. I hope you have a drink because I'm thirsty. The next one is so funny. My parents snowbird in the winter down in Florida in a senior, like 55 and plus community. And I sold a pair of suspenders there, like in their same area. And I just thought that was so funny. Out of the whole United States, that's where they went. But really cool pair of silver suspenders. What made me pick them up is that they had a couple dancing, like ballroom dancing. It was for an actual ballroom dancer. He was very excited. He messaged me and sent me an offer of $24, and I did accept. I got these at the bins, so you know I'm in at like 30 cents. And I loved his little note when he sent his offer. The next one, I love this. Wish it was my size. Patagonia. I hardly have ever found it. I can count on my hand how many times I found it. I'm in rural Illinois. I just don't find it. Okay, maybe 2 hands I found it over my reselling career. This one was a really cool retro deep pill jacket, men's extra large. I love the pop of pink and blue. Sold for $75. I paid $6 for it. I got this down in Jacksonville. What surprised me was those jackets are brand new on sale, or not on sale, but like retail at Patagonia for $99. When I listed this in, okay, so this sold on the 22nd. I listed it on the 1st, so it sold in 22 days. Is that it was currently for sale on their website at that time. Now maybe it had sold out and that could have been why, but for a used jacket to sell at 75%, well actually more than that because you pay for the shipping, just kind of blew my mind. So it was flaw free, but it was, you know, it had been washed and stuff. So the next is this one sold super fast. I used to sell a lot of hot roller curlers, and then I feel like the resale market is just really flooded with them, and so I dialed it back and I just passed on them for a long time. Well, TikTok has made them famous again, certain ones more so than others. I do well with the steam ones, which I don't find those very often, and the flocked velvet rollers. These were flocked. The velvet ones had almost all the pins. I think it was missing one little pin. Had all the rollers. I did test it. It was in working condition. I don't get ones that are covered in hair because I'm not going to pick all the hair off. That's just gross. I got these for $3 and I sold them for $35, and they sold in 9 days. Plus, you know, the buyer always pays for the shipping. Okay, the next I also got from the bins in like a little container. It's tons of vintage jewelry and cufflinks. So I paid maybe $1 for it. And they sold to, what country did these go to? I've had a lot of international sales this month. These went somewhere in Europe, I believe, and they sold for a whole $20, but they were really cool. They're like a dome shaped, you know, which is like a rounded cufflink, and a really, really dark ruby. It would look black unless the light flecked off of it just right. So only $20, but the small little stuff like that, it's so easy for me to list and store. I don't necessarily mind the smaller sales, but I am trying to steer away from that. All right, the next was something that I almost blocked the buyer because they were very annoying. They're a seller, a reseller as well, but they sell cards like at an actual pop-up. And my husband got tons of promotional sports cards that are not very common, and so I've sold most of them, but I still have a drawer full that are all still listed if you're interested. But a lot of them, like I can't remember how many there were, 28 of them, but the buyer was like, take away the number so people can't see unless they go through all the pictures, because in the picture it shows the number of cards that's in this lot, because he didn't want people to be able to comp it. And it's like, dude, I'm not gonna. And so I just took the number out of, I think, the title, but it still said it, I think, in the description and in the pictures. And then he wanted me to change it and get rid of it in the description. And I said, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, that just is so sketchy and deceitful. I'm not gonna, like, wipe your butt. This is ridiculous. How much were these? They sold for $65. They were Michael Jordan 9091 cartoon. They were funny because the front is Michael Jordan, but if you flip it over, the back was Pippin. It's just kind of like a comical card. And so my husband, we actually almost donated these. I was going to carry the carts of cards out to the car, and because my husband didn't think they were worth anything, and I happened to do a little bit of research. I was like, wait a minute, and we've made hundreds of dollars on these cards. So yeah, I mean, I eventually did sell to the dude, but I can't stand it. I also can't stand it when people refer to me as sir. My eBay store name is Cargill Collection, which is like unisex, and I don't know. I don't like the bro energy. And I didn't have to sell it to him, but he's like, oh, sorry, we couldn't work out a deal. Then he came back a little bit later and he's like, let's do it. Okay, whatever. And he speeded up. My daughter just woke up. Okay, I still have a few more weeks to go through. Okay, the next dress was absolutely stunning. It's a 70s pastel lilac purple evening dress with this not crochet, it was like not doily, it was this waxed polyester, maybe. It felt really weird. Overlay top. This dress sold for $100. Those sports cards that sold had been listed since March of 23, so I was happy to see them go. This dress sold I listed it last May, and it just sold on the 16th of January, but again, it was $100 plus shipping, and I did pay $7. They did mark this up at the thrift, because normally dresses are $3.50 at this location, but I'm totally fine because it was that gorgeous. Okay, the next one was actually a bundle order, which I rarely ever get on eBay, but I got it. And Mary, your blankets sold. Totally surprised me because one was actually a cutter quilt, which a cutter quilt just means it's highly damaged, and it's mainly to take apart and use as it, like, for the parts. So the other, and it was like kind of Christmassy colors, like green and red, had berries on it. The other one was really pretty. It was the sunflower lap blanket. But I think that one was not handmade. The sunflower one was not, if I recall. The sunflower blanket, which was just, again, a lap blanket, sold for $50. And then the cutter quilt was a twin size, sold for $50. So they're all in $100 plus shipping. Okay, you can hear my daughter yelling. I'm going to skip and do only highlights. I sold these curtains on best offer. I had them listed for about these duck curtains from the 80s. If you know, people would decorate their kitchens in ducks. Like, it was really a thing, wearing blue bows and everything. I paid $3 for them. I think, yeah, I got them $3. They had rust marks on the top from curtain rods. They were not in the best condition. I did try washing them. I did disclose the flaws, and I took a best offer of $60, only in $3. And again, they had been listed since April 23, so I was happy to see those go. The next one was also given to me. Thank you. I'm not going to call them out because I don't know if they want people to know. Somebody donated a Peyton Manning Indianapolis Colts Super Bowl jersey to me. It was new tags by Reebok. It was also a good size 50, men's 50. Sold it for $100. Yay. Oh, that one took, again, I listed in April, but it was maybe a belated Christmas present. The next one I got the bins, really unique. It was for Vienna, Illinois Correctional Prison. It was trucker style, actual vintage, had the embroidered gold leaves on the bill. Sold that for $50. It sold in a month and a half. Armani Exchange men's Y2K zip up. I typically pass, but it kind of just gave me a vibe, so I sold it for $40. It did take 4 months to sell. No. Yeah, 4 months to sell. and I paid $1 for it. Probably why I got it. I am skipping some. The next one I got at the Goodwill store. Orvis. If it's a newer or a nice quality piece, Orvis or even vintage, I will pick it up. Men's extra large wool knit sweater jacket. It had a full zip. It was like a hunting shooting jacket. It had like the patch pockets and everything. Gorgeous, beautiful condition. I paid $5 for it. I sold it for $60. That was listed for a little under 2 months. This next one I featured in a haul a long time ago, probably. It's a vintage Horseman 27-inch Thirsty Walker doll. Her red hair was a hot mess. Like, she needs a new wig. I think her hair is actually rooted. 1964. So it's a pretty old. It was $3 at a local thrift store. I've had that listed since July. And sold for $100 plus shipping, and I got good feedback on it. She really enjoyed it. The next one I sold for $75. Took forever to sell. Again, it was listed October of 2021. It was a costume I thought would sell pretty quick. It was gorgeous. It's a colonial American like reenactment dress. There was no petticoat, so they messaged me and sent an offer of $75. I gladly accepted. I did pay up for this. I paid $12 for it. Handmade quality. The next one is Wyoming Traders. I love finding this brand. It's kind of a newer brand. This is the first time I found it and sold that. I recently found another vest that I currently have for sale. Western wool men's button-down vest. Very Yellowstone vibes. It was for sale since November 6th and it sold for $60 and it would cost me $5. The next, 90s Marlboro jackets are kind of oversaturated, and if you check comps on eBay, they're kind of crappy, but I had a reversible one that was like barn chore coat. I guess I did have Marlboro in the title, like near the end. Extra large, red and black, reversible. I paid $6 for it. I sold it for $50. Again, it was listed since February of last year, so 11 months to sell. I did recently pick one up from the bins. I did have a few moth holes in it, but that one was actually new with tags, and I think it was a 2X. This one I also thought would sell pretty quick. It did not. Bradford Exchange, Bichon Frise. It's like a breed of dog. Gold hoop earrings. You guys, people love their dogs, and they'll wear them all over their body. $65. I paid 50 cents for it at a garage sale. Yeah. The next one I also was super surprised. I got it at a spring sale last year. I listed it last April, so 9 months to sell. And it sold for $50. It was this like fireplace log lifter tool. It was cast iron. It was heavy. It was probably, it was very well made. Blah, 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 blah. Skipping. Okay, a few more, and then I've just got to go get my daughter. We'll have to call it a day because this is a long video. Thank you for sticking with me. Also because I'm staring at my computer screen so much instead of you guys. Okay, got this at my local Goodwill. It just looked very interesting to me. It's like an acid wash hoodie, gray hoodie, and it said acid wrap. It's for Chance the Rapper, and it's a smoky black sweatshirt hoodie, men's extra large. People used to love this, like looking for it, and I sold it for $75. Paid $5 for it, and it sold in a little under 2 months. Blah, 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 blah. Sold those 5-finger toe, like really weird looking shoes, like the barely there shoes that look very uncomfortable. Sold those for $50. I was kind of surprised they still sell for that. Paid $2 for them, and they sold in a little over 2 months. The last one that I am going to close with is this Filson. I last month found 3 Filson men's shirts. They weren't vintage. If they're vintage, they're more desirable. I found that out. But I sold a flannel for $61 plus shipping, and I paid $5 for it. So anyways, those are my sales highlights over the last month. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you on my next What Sold video for Poshmark. Thank you, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.